What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let's get into the Iraq news. Sorry for the delay, but I was expecting another announcement in the news. It just has not shown up yet. So if it does later on, I will do an update because it's good news. I just don't want to jump the gun. Right now, it's just rumors, but I have a feeling they're gonna make some kind of announcement on it. And it's good news, but nothing really big. I just don't want you guys to get overly pumped. But we're going to get into the news today, and yes, I can already tell about the other news. Yes, I know people. Like I said, whenever we get into the news, you can't get overly excited about good news, and you can't get overly bummed out about bad news. It doesn't make a difference what they say. Just makes a difference what they do. So we're keeping an eye on that, and you're going to see what I'm talking about here in a minute. Don't forget, you guys, right now is a good time to jump on precious metals. If you're thinking about buying some, give our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange a consideration. The link is in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you buy more than $100 worth of precious metals, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. Over here, we got Pimpy's Investment Chat on Facebook, same name as the YouTube channel. Over here, we talk about investment opportunities, gold, silver, as well as cryptocurrencies, no politics. Keep the politics for over here, which is the hidden things in front of your eyes. You could talk about QAnon, NESARA, GESARA, politics, current events, 9/11, false flag events, the whole 9 yards. Just be respectful of one another. I would appreciate it. For those of you who don't have Facebook, come join me over here on Twitter. The link is in the account. And I would highly recommend that some of you people that are on Facebook come join me here anyways, because they are taking down groups just in case I get caught up in that sweep. All right, so let's get into the news. And this is why I'm saying you can't get overly excited and you can't get overly bummed out. Either way. And finally, Iraq Finances announces the date of the salary disbursement. The Iraq Ministry of Finance announced today that they're going to disperse the salaries on Wednesday. They told the news that the late payments in the public sector salaries for the month of September will begin to be paid out tomorrow. The ministry indicated that its obligation to fulfill its legal obligations despite the severe shortage of revenues facing the country, and looks forward to cooperating with the House of Representatives and the relevant authorities in order to develop quick solutions to address the current economic and financial crisis. Well, what kind of solutions do you guys suppose that is? The ministry noted that the financial pressure in the country will continue in the foreseeable future as the country's main source of income from oil exports will be constantly affected by the global decline in demand and massive outbreak from the Rona. The Ministry of Finance stated that it appreciates the urgent demands on the federal budget from all directions, noting that Iraq is facing an economic emergency that will be bypassed by national unity and cooperation between all parties. She indicated that the task force led by the ministry has completed the white papers for economic reform, explaining that it is in the process of finalizing the 2021, 22, and 23 budgets. The process of reform and change will lead to a more robust economy and contribute to raising the living standards of our people, she said at the end of her statement. Now, I know a lot of people are going, oh, see, that means it's going to be the rate change. Don't get ahead of yourself. Now, we know in the reform papers the exchange rate is being talked about, but we don't know what that really means. That could just be talk. It could be that they're going to change it. Maybe, though, what happens if they don't change it by much? The thing is, we could get excited about this. There's a reason to be happy about what we're hearing here. There is. But I don't want people to make the assumption. Because again, today in the group, somebody put in there that the expected exchange rate for the Iraqi dinar is $15 for every one dinar. And I was like, no, what? Where are you guys getting this from? We don't know what the rate change is going to be, but we know the rate change is being discussed in the reform papers. We don't know what that means, though. So I know it says on here that, look, it says the process of reform and change will lead to a more robust economy and contributing to raising the living standards of the people. It's easy to assume they're talking about changing the rate, which, I mean, it makes sense, don't get me wrong. But I don't want us to jump ahead of the game here. Stay grounded. That is good news. We're all hoping that's what it means, okay? The government of the Iraq prime minister is facing increasing criticisms for his inability to secure sufficient liquidity to pay the salaries of the state employees, which may expose to a tremendous pressure in the coming months. By the end of the week in October, the government had yet to disburse employee salaries for the month of September. The Iraq government is struggling to secure employee salaries and other operating expenses due to the collapse of the oil price and the Rona. So let's keep an eye on this, but we know crunch time's coming. We know a lot of things are getting ready to come out. How? They haven't even passed the 2020 budget yet. Okay? So as time goes on and we get there, it seems like and not only that, it just happened to say in the news the other day, how come we have not seen articles about Erbil coming over to Baghdad to get their agreements ironed out? Well, sure enough, there was an article that came out late yesterday saying they're going to get back to it. Of course, we know they have to have that ironed out before they get past the budgets. What they're agreeing on is part of the budget, their dues and revenues. So we know they can't pass that budget without some type of agreement, especially if they're going to be doing budgets 21, 22, and 23 ahead of time. So yeah, I get it, you guys, and that's the thing. You guys are saying, oh, should I buy more Dinar? That's up to you. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor. But like I said before, if you're going to buy more Dinar, come check our friends out over here at UK Dinar FX. All right? They do have Iraqi Dinar for you. The other websites I told you have been sold out of Dinar, as well as in a lot of places, the Vietnam Dong. So you could buy those here. All right, you guys, you come over here and make your purchase. They ship internationally anywhere. So there's some of you in other countries going, I can't get Dinar here. Well, these people right here, more than happy to sell you some. That's a good thing. Right? If you make your purchase, they'll offer you a chance to use a discount code. Use discount code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a discount on your purchase. So not only that, you get a little bit of a savings on your purchase. But they ship internationally and they ship quickly. Right? Where we go one, we go all. I love that little logo there. I don't know why I didn't see it before. All right, so you guys were asking me about this. I know you guys are asking, should I buy more? I can't tell you what to do. That's up to you. But if you're going to do it, come over and check out our friends over at UK Dinar FX. Other than oil, parliamentary committee that indicates sufficient resources to secure monthly salary. So that's a good thing, other than oil revenue. So this person is saying this. The Labor and Social Affairs Committee stated on Tuesday that the non-oil resources from revenues, including border outlets, communications, currency auctions, and oil derivatives, are sufficient to secure the monthly salaries of the employees. A member of the committee told the news there are different views amongst the member of parliament regarding the new borrowing law, given that the government did not present the economic reform papers to Parliament by approving the previous borrowing law, indicating that the state resources are not the oil sector, is big. And through it, it can secure the salaries of the employees and retirees and social welfare. He added, if these resources are properly added to the state's treasury, they will reach more than 5 trillion dinars per month, noting that if the governments focus directly on waste resources from border outlets, the telecommunications sector, the auctions of the foreign currencies, oil derivatives, and taxes, it is sufficient to secure monthly salaries without using oil resources. That's great news. That's what we want to see. Now, if you remember, just in taxes alone, last month they set a record. They also set a record on a weekend for fees collected at the ports. This is what happens when Al-Qademi goes in and he removes out the corrupt people and puts in people that do their job and are there to work for the Iraqi people. A ton of money comes rolling into Iraq. So let's continue to get behind Al-Qademi and just, again, feel confident about what he's doing over there as a leader. Now, the rest of the things in here just talk about, again, some things that are important. We know that the attacks on embassies are a big threat. Al-Qademi has now formed a committee to investigate the breaches and look into it. And then he got a list of all the people right here that are part of this committee. Holidays coming up, so the stock exchange announces its reduction in hours. The Kurdish parties reach understanding about the electoral districts. This is good because remember, they got early elections coming up. So this stuff had been ironed out, and it's already done. America is offering more investment opportunities in the Kurdistan region. Again, once Iraq feels stable and secure, we'll get a lot more investors coming into Iraq, which is good. All right, you guys? So what that means is this. Once it's stable, once it's secure, you guys heard me say this a million times, outside investors will come in and work there. They want to feel safe. They want to feel secure. They want to feel like their investments are safe. And that's what we're seeing being done. Parliament finance approval of the borrowing law will be conditional on economic reforms. Again, still talking about economic reforms. The Parliamentary Finance Committee, Parliament approved to borrow this time will be conditional on the government. A statement was made to the news. The Ministry of Finance promised to reform the paper end of last month and as provided until now. He added, there is a government supervisory defect regarding submitting the reform papers to Parliament. And he added, if the borrowing is approved, it will be subject to conditions on the government, not that failure to abide by the OPEC decisions regarding oil cuts required of the government's decision. Okay, it sounds all crazy, but nonetheless, what they're saying is this. They're going to have to see the reform papers, because that's a big part of whether or not they want to go through all this. They have to show that some changes are going to be made that are going to benefit the economy. They don't want to just keep borrowing. There are analysts out there right now predicting, including the IMF, that Iraq will be totally bankrupt in 2021 if things don't change. No one accepts lending to Iraq because of the bad government performances, and the situation in Iraq has entered the stage of danger due to the financial crisis, and the political process may collapse, stressing the border crossing corrupted an institution that has passed through the history of Iraq. And we already know about this, and all of that is being addressed. We're seeing record revenue from different sources coming in now, and not just relying on oil. Let me refresh this and see if the news that I was expecting to show up or not. So give me a second here. So look, this is good news. We like that the talk that they're saying is the reform papers would help the economy be more robust. We're not sure what that means yet, but we'll find out. I want to jump the gun on that. All right. Once again, you guys, if you're going to buy more Iraqi dinar, the link will be in the description to the UK Dinar FX. They can ship anywhere internationally. Some of these other places can't do that. All right. So the link will be in the description. So that's it for now. Yes, it looks good. I understand that, but I hate when people get overly excited for some news and overly bummed for others. Just stay grounded. Let's just see what this means. All right? So that's it for now, you guys. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the video, and I surely do appreciate it, and I'll catch you later.